Alright, so check me out. The year 2019. Me, bored in my room. Remember that. That's important to the story. Not really. You don't gotta do that. I hit up my friend. What's my friend's name? Stacy. Her name is Stacy. Yo, you wanna hang out? I'm bored as fuck. She responded with, "Aight, cool. I'm cleaning. Come over. Well, you can help me clean." And by that, I mean I would literally sit on the couch. One thing I love about my friend Stacy is that without fail, every single time I would go to her house, I would always come back with a new song on my playlist, or a new album to listen to, or a new artist just to be on my radar. So it's almost like a double treat every time I go there. So like anytime I had Shazam at the ready on my phone, and I drove over to Stacy's. I didn't have a car. I just rode my bike. I get there, we chilling. Stacy's in the back cleaning the house, exactly how I said she was going to. I was there on the couch, exactly how I said I was going to. Currently, she's listening to Thank You Next. I don't know exactly which song from that album, but I distinctly remember it was from Thank You Next because the album recently had dropped. Next thing I know, time goes on for a little bit. We chat. We decide that we want to go get some Chick-fil-A. I say bet. We hop in the car. We drive it. She has this thing with her Bluetooth that plays whatever was on her phone. It plays the last. You know how cars work. I don't know why I'm explaining that. Next thing I know, the Thank You Next song ends. After that, I'm just chilling. I'm like, okay. And then all of a sudden, I get greeted with the most beautiful arrangement of sounds that have ever hit my ear. Ever. This lush, gorgeous synth swelling in the background. These gorgeous whining, singing synths that's just swirling all around the soundscape. That just brings everything together. It feels tranquil. It feels complete. It feels beautiful. And then all of a sudden, boom! We on some Sade shit. We on some Brandy shit. We on nigga. Bro, we on some shit. And then I'm already locked in. See, from the 30 seconds, y'all already got me locked. Then I hear this voice coming from the angels.
You say you got a girl. How you want me? How you want me when you got a girl?
She is gliding around my head with these crazy melodies, and I knew as soon as she like maybe didn't even get to the hook, she was like, "Say you got a girl," and by that time I already had Shazam out. It was already out. It was already out. So I saved the song after we went to Chick-fil-A, which we didn't get, by the way. The line was so long. I just got a lemonade. So we went back home. I decided to go back into my car, which I previously mentioned is a lie. I rode back to my house and I pulled up the song. Apparently it's a song called The Weekend by SZA. I listened to it. Then I listened to it again. Then I listened to it again. And then I listened to it again. Then I remembered that this artist is like a real musician who like actually makes other songs. Literally, who would have thought? I listened to the song that the album was attached to called Control. It had this very
striking, almost eerie image of this woman sitting down around a bunch of busted old computer monitors in this very almost awkward pose, but the image was so composed so beautifully well that it all came together and it was just so striking.
Then I listened to the album, and from that day forward, I was absolutely a SZA fan. And if you or a loved one is an aspiring SZA fan, do. We don't gatekeep on. We don't gatekeep on here. Something that I do often after I hear albums from artists that I like that I don't really know of, I'll go back and watch interviews. I feel like a lot of people do that. And I hear this girl talking about, hey, can we change the music? I'm about to talk about some like real shit for a second. No problem. All right, cool. How she is due to herself not having the foresight of what she's going to do next, and the fact that she's self-aware that she doesn't know what she's going to do next and still continues to be as this unpredictable person, makes her extremely worried, and it leads her to do very destructive things and then regret them almost afterwards. In an attempt to reconcile any emotions that she had, she puts herself in this very toxic lifestyle where she constantly puts herself as the victim in this woe is me complex, and she'll do that to herself till she realizes that her self-improvement is not going to get better until she's able to come to terms with the fact that something needs to be done about it. And then she goes on this journey of self-discovery and self-change, and then eventually she lands herself back at the beginning. And her whole character archetype, I just fell in love with. I mean, it feels so weird saying that I fell in love with someone's character archetype when they're not they're people. SZA as a person is is so intriguing to me, especially when to take into context all the things that made Control what it is today, and her mentality before and after, and how mentally taxing it was for her. And she was very vocal about how destroying and damaging that was to her well-being. After I found out about her tribulations of before and after and Top Dog, made me really think that there was no chance that we were gonna get another album. I just felt like from all the tweets that she had, all the post-album interviews, all the videos, or any text, anything that leaked, it really pointed to signs that this was another chapter in SZA's life and not necessarily the career for her. And that gave me, as like a new fan, this kind of air of uncertainty as to whether we were gonna get music from her or not. I don't know, it was weird. As time went on, things changed. She released single here, single there, rumor about album here. Like TikTok videos coming out of nowhere. It's deleted tweets there. We get to where we are now in 2020, where she's released SOS. And I will say, I was very worried about this woman's well-being. With everything that I read about her, I was like, oh honey, I hope you're alright. Like, I don't think she understands that she was a lot of people's, like Frank Ocean. Like, niggas was doing nightly rituals, praying they were gonna see your shit. And honestly, it was something about me realizing that I'm worried about SZA's well-being as to whether she's in a good position to release this album, kind of threw me in this weird introspective loop where I was thinking, why do I care so much? And I had to look back as to why I sat and watched hours upon hours of interviews from her. I love the way she articulated her emotions. She has this weird way of talking to the interviewer that makes it feel like she's directly talking to me. It gives in the same way that a friend who you've known for years is talking about the hardships of them trying to get over a project to release it. And all that put me in another set of realizations. And then after deliberating, I had to think about it. Who was the person who got SZA on my radar to begin with? And I thought about it. And then it clicked. Stacy. It was me being in Stacy's car and driving to Chick-fil-A that I heard The Weeknd for the first time that even put me on to SZA. After I realized that, I watched another interview of her, and then that's when everything clicked. I adored the way SZA articulated her emotions, is because it almost felt like a one-to-one replica as to the way Stacy presented her emotions. Beat for beat, every cadence of her words, and I was like, oh, because it feels like me listening to her feels like I'm listening to my friend talk to me about her emotions. Whenever she expresses that she's feeling a certain way, a part of me in the back of my brain feels like, oh, I understand this, even though I don't, even though this is a different person. And that got me thinking about why we view parasocial relationships as a bad thing, and I do think it is a bad thing. But more than anything, it made me think about how we got here. How do I even let a relationship with a person that I've never met, has no knowledge of me, that the only time that we even come close to interacting is over a screen or over waveforms that I'm hearing on Spotify? It's because they're people at the end of the day, and they're people with personalities, just like how you have a personality, just like how I do, just like, irrelevant to this video, how Stacy does. And once I put it in that perspective, it became extremely easy for my brain to connect the pieces as to why someone would possibly find any sort of relationship to people that they haven't met. It's because it's super easy for our brains to think that the personality that you're seeing through the screen can easily translate to your world, and that's exactly what happened to me. I fell in love with SZA's personality because I'm friends with people who has very similar personalities as her. Wait, hold on. Editing Kuji here. I think it's very important for me to discern that I do not like SZA's personality just because she reminds me of my friend Stacy. I also think SZA is just cool people. I just think that that's relevant to why I started to form a parasocial relationship. So yeah, take what I just said as a grain of salt. I'm gonna resume the video now because I'm about to say some banger shit. Yeah, enjoy. Obviously, I've been using SZA for this video as the example because that's like the easiest time I can recollect the arc of me learning about someone to standing them, but this can be applied for anything, BTS stands, like K-pop in general, anybody, literally anybody. So what's the moral of this story? Nothing you've already heard. See, listen, everybody knows parasocial relationships are bad. because obviously you don't know the person, and when you meet him it's weird because, you know, it's like you're in a way you're kind of online stalk. But I just kind of wanted to make this video to try and give more insight to me, honestly. SZA's not gonna be the only person I stand, and she's far from the only person that I have. But when I find myself getting really into a new artist and I'm really enjoying their work and their personality, I can come back to this video and remind myself, they don't know you, little bro. They don't know you. Love, Fuji.